No, thank y'all for being here tonight. We are going to go through, in this order, the 13 and under, we're going to do the Champion of Champions patterns. Now, for sake of time, because I know you all want to get on and go ride, we're going to do the level 1 championship patterns and then the level 2 championship patterns, but we're not going to be doing the 13 and under and the 14 to 18. As you've all seen, the patterns have the exact same path, okay? There's just the difference in where we increase the speed. Now, Peyton is going to be doing the more advanced patterns with the speed in them, but again, our path is similar, okay? And at the end of each pattern, we will be able, I'll open it up for questions while Peyton's reading over the next pattern. So if you have any questions, keep it in mind as she's riding the pattern, and then we'll ask for questions. Now, before we get going here, as Peyton's kind of going back over through her for her level 1 championship, how many of you is your first time here at the Youth World TISH show? TISH show. Raise your hand, keep it up. Keep it up high. That's awesome. Yeah, you see everybody that isn't raising their hand, do you see those people? You need to make sure that you reach out to them, make them feel welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Gina, you got something?
Just real quick, she's doing the speed patterns.
Correct. All right, so I'm going to read through this pattern as we go. And again, I'm going to explain a little bit before she starts where we kind of want to feel where the path of this pattern is. Now keep in mind, when you're showing in this arena, the judges are sitting right up here. All right, so in this first pattern, you jog in, you make a corner, you lope right lead, and to the center. I stepped in, and from where you get flat when you jog in, when your horse finally rests and gets flat, and you make that corner, and you lope your right lead, this is about center. Right here where this orange stripe is behind me and in front of me is about halfway between the center and where you're going to make your corner for where you jog in. Okay, so we all can see it's a very nice half round circle on that first right lead. We come to our lead change. We lope our circle. So again, we want, there's no cones in this pattern, so we want you to be able to depict for your horse and yourself. I mean, I'm going to stress that we want to see a lot of cadence here, okay? And not slow cadence. We want to see a nice forward-moving cadence in all of these patterns, okay? And so as we lope our right lead circle, we want to come back to our center, and we're going to make our corner at the jog. For those in the 13 and under, on the left lead, you will not extend, and on the 14 to 18, you do extend as you come around, and then you come back to your center, which is the center, which is where this X is on this pattern, and the orange and white stripe is here. That is where you break to your jog, make your corner, and extend to the trot. Now, as you break to this jog, the jog is merely just to kind of gain your balance, gain your horse's balance, and then we want to see you build that extended trot, U-turn, pass center, stop, turn, walk, turn back, and jog out. Okay, for sake of time and hear me talk more, we're going to go ahead and let Miss Peyton come on in and start her pattern, and I'll continue to walk through it, or talk through it, excuse me. So as she's getting here to the flat, she's going to pick up her jog, make her corner, and as soon as I feel like you get straight is where I want to see you engage that lope. I would not want to be any closer to the wall than that. That's a good distance. Don't make the judges lean over the rail there to look at you. Feel like that would be a little bit more credit earning if the judges did not have to do that. And now we're going to extend the lope for our 14 to 18. Our regular 13 and under will stay at the same speed. Again, nice flow to this pattern, right? So our eyes are looking for that center orange and white stripe. As she comes to it, we break to our jog, corner left. We may want to get that a little bit earlier. We know this is not Peyton's horse, and she's never shown this one, so she's kind of learning it. But don't get hung up on that. She keeps going. She's extended to the corner. She's coming back down through the middle, past center. And again, don't get too hung up on that. Obviously, we don't want to come all the way down here. I like where she stopped, about halfway between the orange stripe and me. Our turn, our walk, and then I would like to see, yes, right about there. And our turn and a quarter. Back. And your pattern's complete. They are requesting that you exit at the jog. Okay, so with the little transition issue or whatever, I would like to just see that corner just a little bit smoother there. But I mean, all in all, very well written pattern, very forward, very cadenced. No question about what gear she was showing you, right? Let's just make sure that all of you, when you're showing tomorrow, the judges know the pattern, but just define it for them. Really easy. That's your job, right? Any questions before we move on to the level 2 patterns? Awesome. Peyton, you did good. Nobody had questions. So if you'll pull out your level 2 patterns, again, we'll go over, yep, are you moving that cone out? Thank you. So this cone will be 24 feet. In this arena, you will see it's where the first Western riding cone goes. There's a red dot on the wall. 24 feet. There's another red dot right over here. And so that's a straight line, and that cone's 24 foot off the wall. So the difference in these patterns is we have the jog difference after our turns. One is right to the extended trot, the other is a jog and build to the extended trot halfway through it. And then after we lope, in the 14 to 18, there's an extended lope versus the 13 and under where you stay at the regular collected lope. So there's no specified number of strides here at the beginning. We want to see, talking to the staff before, we want to show the walk. So don't go step, step. That's not really much of a walk, right? Make sure you show the walk. If you've got a good walk, maybe you want to show that a little bit more. But we want to make sure that you have enough. To me, I always coach, do it as it's drawn, right? So I'm standing about halfway between that cone and the orange and white stripe. To me, that's not where you lope off, right? You want to lope off well before you get halfway between the cone and your corner that you make at your right lead, right? So let's just keep that in mind. We want to see the walk, but I don't think we want to see the walk all the way up halfway into this straight line before we make our corner, right? Are you good to go, Peyton? All righty. So the judge will have a flag, I'm assuming, like usual. Okay, Justin's nodding yes. The judge will wave the flag. Walk, shows the walk. Great place to lope off. Straight line is meaning straight line, corner, to center. Either way you want to turn first. Again, when we stop, we want to see that orange and white stripe right in front of us. We jog off, build to the extended trot. And I like her distance off of the wall. She didn't use the wall to make that corner. She's coming down just above. I'd want to see her maybe a little more above her cone here. And we loop back up and pick up our left lead at center. Here we build, making a little button hook. Don't overthink this. Button hook back down to the middle. Again, straight line, and now we're going to slow down. We're going to change leads at center mark and trot. Again, we got to make corner, corner, and stop even with our last cone. Stop and back. Okay, so any questions on that pattern to be thinking about? So you see there's a lot that happens here at the end of this pattern between the lead change, your breakdown, and then corner, corner, and make sure we're stopping even with our green cone down here on the other side, right? So a couple things to note. Again, our walk, let's not be all the way over there against our wall. You know, again, I like to do things as they're written, and you can see, even though it doesn't show the wall over here, you can see there's 24 foot from your line over here. I feel like where she was placed over on this side is adequate. I wouldn't want to be any closer than that. So did I miss any hands on any questions at all? Good. I see a lot of trainers here. That's good, because y'all can answer all those questions later. On the level 2, 14 to 18, there is 2 cuts. All right, so if you're in that level 2, 14 to 18, they'll take the top 15 out of the first cut. Take the top 15 out of the second cut. Those 15 from each will create 30. Those 30 will run their pattern again. And then from those 30, they will call back top 15 to the rail. Okay, so 15, 15, those 30 will run again, and then they will full call back the 15 for that rail work. The 13 and under goes 1 pattern, and then they call back for the rail work. All right, so we're going to do the 13 and under and the finals and the 14 to 18 prelims. Now remember that the 13 and under finals goes in the Noric. That means the judges will be sitting over here on this side. So as you see this pattern and as it's laid out, like I mentioned earlier, on our rail over here, let's not be too close to the rail to where it makes the judges strain. I believe it's more credit earning if those judges can sit and judge you and not have to strain to see it. So let's make sure that our rail and the Noric on the 13 and unders over here is just an adequate distance from that. And as you're practicing it, you can certainly have somebody sit there maybe and let you know. The big differences is the extended walk and where you extend the lope. The 14 to 18 extend the lope a little bit earlier, the 13 and unders a little bit later. So Peyton, if you're ready, let's do it. So similar for the 14 to 18 here, when you get on this flat spot, right, we want to hit that jog. As soon as we get straight, we walk, extend our walk, show that walk, that's nice. So I'm counting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I'm coming across. I want to see the number of strides between your orange and white. Break into our extended trot. Again, we got to save some room. Good. Got to save some room for our lope around that outside of that trot, right? We slow to our jog. Come back to our center. Stop and turn. Now we lope our left lead. 14 to 18. When you get right here on that straight stride right here, we extend. We're above where we trotted. Show me your straight line. 13 and unders, we'll start extending right back there. Make this corner, extending, slowing. Changing at the center. Loping down to where we made our corner estimate. Stopping back. And may exit at the walk or the jog. Very nice, Peyton. Everybody give Peyton a big round of applause. That's pretty awesome. Thank you very much, Chris and Melissa. Peyton, thank you again. Great job. Any questions before we call it tonight? Thank you all for coming. If you didn't drop any money in the green bucket, please do so. Thank you all, everybody that did do that. Thanks for coming. Have a good night and a good ride.